Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, everybody, into the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show, brought to you by the market dominator team on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day. Picasso's, we are Buffalo Pizza, shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassospizza.net. As I said, it's good to have you guys here. My name is Joe Miller. I'm the voice of the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. It's so good to have you guys here. Got all kinds of people piling into the chat. Jessica Tennis, what's up? Xavier Stutz, what's up? What do we got? Karen's in the room. Karen Idzik, Karen B, Robert Sully, Robbie's in the room. Jake Botticello's in the room. I almost said Jake from Buffalo. Richard Rush is up in the house. I'm Mike, Sean Hannon. There's so many of you guys. There's too many to mention. Thank you so much for making the Overreaction Postgame Show one of your first listens after this Buffalo win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So good to have you. Great to have you. Thank you again for joining me. And as we always like to say here, whether this podcast finds you around a cup of coffee, at the gym with your AirPods in, on the drive to work, or watching me live right now on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, from the state. I know there's people from the stadium that are watching me. There's people at home. There's people in the car driving home from the stadium. If you're consuming this podcast later during the week on Victory Monday, Victory Tuesday, or Victory Wednesday, again, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe, whatever platform you're on. And this is a recording of a podcast if you are joining me live. And what that means is I'm going to do the best that I can to get to any comments that I see. However, if I don't see your comment, please know that I am not ignoring you. I'm trying to stay focused on my notes, what I've got going on. If you want to get my attention, you have to jump over to YouTube and hit the super chat button, and you can throw in a donation thing there, and it'll glow on my screen. Basically, all that to say this: it glows on my screen, gets my attention, and then I will ask your conversation, or I should say I will answer your question or respond to your comment. Daniel Gowrie says, nice Miller jersey, Joe. Why ever would you buy that jersey? Laugh out loud. Well, Von Miller, and I finally scored one with the patches because these are incredibly hard to find. But yes, Von Miller is what we like to call hashtag jersey for life. I'll put that in the comment section. So hashtag jersey. Did I spell that right? I didn't. Jersey for life. Well, what does jersey for life mean? Well, jersey for life means that it's got my name on it, right? So it says Miller on the back of it. So I'm no longer wearing the jersey of another man. I'm now wearing my own jersey. It says Miller on it. B, Von Miller is going to play for this football team for a couple of years, and C, after he retires, he is going to go to the Hall of Fame. So this is a jersey that will live on forever. But yes, Joe Miller, Von Miller. Not a big fan of the number 40. I think I wore 20 in baseball and football, but and volleyball. But for all intents and purposes, this Von Miller jersey looks. I make this look good, right? Don't I make this look good? We're going to talk all about this wonderful football game during this year post-game show. However, before we do that, let's jump over and catch a word from our title sponsor, the Market Dominator.
Introducing the Market Dominator.
Folks, I'm John Spaschek. That's right, the Market Dominator. And I am the proud sponsor of the Overreaction podcast, hosted by my good friend, Joe Miller. You know, his approach is absolutely outstanding. It's excellent. And that's what our approach is when we get into real estate. We help our clients win, just like our beloved team is doing week in and week out. So folks, if you want somebody representing you with the most cutting edge technology, using artificial intelligence and everything we can get our hands on to help you win, you reach out to me directly, 716-570-3298. We will answer our phone. And one more thing, go Bills.
Go Bills. That is John Spaschek, a very good friend of mine. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, please do not hesitate and give John a call. John is the man. You will not be disappointed. So we got a lot to talk about. It's Victory Monday. It's Victory Tuesday. It's Victory Wednesday. What a difference a year makes when you look at the two teams that have played. I've got a special guest that I'm going to be bringing on the show here in a little bit, which will be exciting. But when you just look at the paper, when you just look at effectively these two teams and what we saw last year in the home opener, which was a major disappointment, versus this game, you can't help but think what a difference a year makes. The roster changes, how the rosters are different. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger is not on that Steelers team. Melvin Ingram is not on that Steelers team. Their roster has turned over. TJ Watt is not on that team. But I don't think that those three players alone are enough to necessarily make a difference. If you look at actually the way that Steelers team played, you could probably risk making the statement that Kenny Pickett played better than Ben Roethlisberger did last year. But it was a windy, brisk day in Orchard Park, and the fans were full throat. This is the question that I have, and I don't understand what Mother Nature has against Buffalo and Bills fans. And what I mean by that is, when I woke up this morning and I went to church at, when did I leave the house? 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. It was beautiful outside. It was probably 51 degrees. There was no wind. Saturday, it was really windy, but there was no wind this morning. It was great. And then I got to the tailgate, and the wind started to pick up. By the time the game was being played, it was 58 degrees, and the wind was howling. Like, it was whipping through the stadium, and it was cold. I literally got to the point where I was chilled and had some issues getting warm even after I got home. Now, this is the question that I have for Mama Nature. I just went outside to grab something out of my truck before I went live. It's whatever, 7:30, 7:45 on Sunday evening, and it's not windy. The wind is completely gone. The wind is vanished. It's just moved on. It's like, oh, there's a Bills game. Oh, the game's over? Okay, we're good. Literally, that is what it feels like. I don't understand what has been going on for the last couple of years as to why every time we have a home game, the weather is not great, but it's getting a little bit annoying if you ask me. So right now it's gorgeous outside. Absolutely beautiful outside. But the Buffalo Bills, as we've been talking about already, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett basically buried them into the turf, made them take a dirt nap, if you will, 38-3, and that score probably could have been even better than that. This was a football game that we should have put away. And it's a team that we should have put away early, and it's one of those situations where the Bills did just that. From the very first series, they put this game away. Make no mistake, this Buffalo Bills team is very, very good. Are they going to have hiccups? Are they going to have execution errors? Are they going to come up short at times? Yes, it's going to happen. That's what happens to football teams. There was only one perfect team in all of NFL history. We're not going to mention their names, and it's not the team up north. It's the team down south, in case you weren't tracking with me. They're going to make mistakes, but make no mistake, as I said a second ago, this team is extremely good. They're very good, from the coaching staff, from the management, the coaching staff, to the quarterback, straight down to the offensive players, the defensive players, into the backups, and dare I even say, right down to the practice squad. Several practice squad players played in this football game. Several practice squad players have been playing throughout this season. This team is good. This team is just good. I don't know what else we're looking for. Coming off of a week last week where in the first half, some members of the Mafia were calling for the head of Sean McDermott, which still somewhat bewilders me. I don't know what you saw in one half of a football game that made you decide that you wanted the head of Sean McDermott brought to you on a platter. But at any rate, you advance through the second half of that game and through this game, and there probably isn't a single person that's upset with Sean and his staff, Sean and his coaching prowess, his coaching abilities. This was a well-coached football game. This is a well-coached football team. We're going to talk a little bit about it, and it's very deep. And it's very good. Very good. At the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just didn't have enough to compete with this Bills team on either side of the football. Yes, you've got Najee Harris, who's very good. Yes, Cam Hayward is on this football team. Minka Fitzpatrick. But for all intents and purposes, once you get past them and a rookie, I mean, they've got great wide receiver talent, right? Chase Claypool, the new Pickens kid. Like, there's some good talent there's some good talent on that team, but they just didn't have what would amount to enough to take on a competitor, a foe, if you will, that had the, what's the word? Just the ability, capability, culture, roster that the Buffalo Bills had. And what's crazy about that is after last season and giving Bill Belichick his worst loss of his career with the no punt game, and they actually ended up doing it again in the playoffs, the Bills today gave Mike Tomlin the worst loss of his career. I have yet to go back and watch Mike Tomlin's press conference, but the words that I've read so far and just some of the tweets that people put was that Mike Tomlin was basically gutted in his press conference. We saw some things from Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin coached football teams in this game early on where they were down by multiple possessions, 2 and 3 possessions, and still trying to establish the run. That's who Mike Tomlin is at his core. And we saw some uncharacteristic things from Mike Tomlin, from a Mike Tomlin football team, such as being down 31-3 and going for it on 4th down twice inside of field goal territory and missing. And the funny thing is, the 2 times that he decided to kick the field goal inside of field goal territory on 4th down, well, I should say 3 times, they made 1 and missed 2 others. It just wasn't their day. Worst loss of Mike Tomlin's career. That says a lot. That's a big deal. This Steelers team came into Buffalo 14-point underdogs, the largest underdog game for the Pittsburgh Steelers since the NFL merger. And going into it, what's funny about that is, for me, it's like, surely there's no way the Steelers are going to lose by 14 points. The Steelers always match up well against the Bills. They have going back for 30 years. They always play the Bills hard. The Steelers are always that team that's 8-8, never worse than 8-8. They've got good in them no matter how bad they are. The Bills just drubbed them today. Drubbed them. And it wasn't the Bills, it was Josh Allen. Josh Allen and the defense laid waste to that Pittsburgh Steelers team. Even with an injured Buffalo Bills team, the injuries we get some guys back, and then obviously some more guys go out. We get Jordan Phillips back, we get Ed Oliver back, Jordan Poyer out, McKenzie out, Dawson Knox out, Tremaine Edmonds out. But it didn't matter. At least not today. Didn't matter. It's a next man up mentality. Jessica Tennis with the super chat. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being a part of the show. Tomlin was distraught and beside himself. He had no answers. He kind of inferred, alluded to, and even spoke as much in his weekly pressers this week that he knew the team he was facing. He knew the environment they were going into. He knew how good this Bills football team is and what it meant to take a rookie quarterback into the game. And I'll be honest with you, I felt Kenny Pickett played well. I thought he played really good. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But the Buffalo Bills are definitely living inside of this next man up mentality. And you've got to believe that at some point it's going to come up short, right? At some point, they're like, whoever they bring up, the next guy, the next Damar Hamlin, the next Jaquan Johnson, the next Isaiah Hodgins, the next Tanner Gentry, the next Quentin Morris, the next whoever it is, at some point, that guy is going to be the guy that breaks the chain. But for right now, the Buffalo Bills are just rolling them. They are the deepest roster in football, not through the 53, but from the top of the 53 straight through the practice squad. It's incredible. It's absolutely 100% incredible. On defense, you got guys, like I said, Jaquan Johnson, Damar Hamlin, Tyrell Dotson, Ka'ir Elam, who's a rookie. And I know that I threw Ka'ir Elam in there because he's obviously filling in is in quotes for Trey, who's out, but he's a rookie. 2 starting safeties out as we know, Micah Hyde gone for the season. Jordan Poyer sat down. I had a conversation with somebody today that said if the Bills were playing the Chiefs today, Jordan would have played. My guess is if the Bills were playing the Chiefs today, Edmonds would have played as well. But even still, that defense looked stout. It looked stellar. Terrell Dodson filled in for Tremaine Edmonds and shut down the Pittsburgh defense. Do you remember when our rush defense was awful last year? It has been fixed wildly. And even if you think about just this year, the players that the Bills have shut down, Cooper Kupp didn't hurt the Bills. The Bills win that game. Derrick Henry, the Bills shut Derrick Henry down. The Bills win that game. Tyreek Hill, the Bills shut down Tyreek Hill. However, they come up just short, winning every stat category except for the score. You go to the Ravens, the Bills completely shut down Lamar Jackson. And then the only real threat on the offense of the Steelers is Najee Harris, in my opinion, and the Bills shut him down with basically, I don't want to say patchwork because I just boasted and talked about how great this roster is, but for lack of a better term, patchwork defense. It's incredible. Absolutely unfreaking believable. And dare I say, hashtag wildest dreams land. How did we get here? There were points in this football game where things were happening on the field. The Khalil Shakir touchdown happens. I'm sitting in the stands and my dad and I don't even get up and cheer. It's like I'm reaching the point of expectation from this football team. We go to play the Steelers. I should say the Steelers come to Buffalo, and I expect the Bills to destroy them. And after they've scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal, or whatever, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and a pass goes up to Khalil Shakir, who goes in the end zone, I'm like, yeah, that's what should happen. That's not even worth cheering about. I expected it. That's the world we're living in now, where you are expecting this team to play well. There wasn't a moment in this game that I was nervous. Not before, not during. There wasn't a moment. When you think about the offense and the rolling guys in on offense, Khalil Shakir had himself a game. Quentin Morris had himself a game. Isaiah Hodgins, my friend, Isaiah Hodgins had himself a game. The reality is it's a mentality. It's a culture at this point. There's something about the idea of being the best version of yourself, regardless of how much everybody else is chirping that now. It's just words unless you've got the, dare I say, stones to back it up and the culture to back it up, but also the don't blink mentality. We now hear all of the Buffalo Bills chirping back don't blink, including Josh Allen, and the press reporting back and asking Josh Allen questions about don't blink. Don't be surprised when other teams start saying the phrase or the 2 words, don't blink. But that doesn't mean that it's going to mean the same thing to them that it does the Bills. The culture is different. Don't blink. I would tell you the same thing, Bills Mafia. I've said it to you 100 times. Enjoy every moment of what you're watching, especially from number 17 under center. Don't blink. Wins and losses, in touchdowns and receptions and interceptions, don't blink. Enjoy every single freaking moment of it. Right now, the Buffalo Bills coaches are coaching with confidence. You need to look no further than the opening drive. The ball is kicked off to Tywan Jones. God only knows why Tywan Jones is the one back there returning kicks. Yes, I get Tywan Jones is a running back. Yes, I get Tywan Jones is a stellar all-world special teamer as a gunner and on special teams. I get all that, but I didn't see Tywan Jones returning kicks once in training camp. Ball comes down, he fumbles it, loses his mind a little bit, can't get a handle on it. Bills ball at the 2-yard line. What are the coaches? Oh, and then what? You got a pass play, a run play. You're still on the 2-yard line. It's it was either 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 8. I think it was 3rd and 10 for the 2. They call a pass play. They call a freaking pass play. I'm okay. I lied. There was one moment in this game I was nervous. This was the moment. I'm sitting in my seats. The play's happening right below me. I'm on the 27-yard line, if you will. The play's happening right in my end zone, and all I can think is, please God, don't hold in the end zone. Whatever you do, this is not the time to hold. Nobody hold. That was the only moment I was nervous. Josh Allen uncorks a 60-yard piss missile into the wind to a wide-open Gabe Davis with a bad ankle. That's how confident the coaches are in this football team right now. If that's an incomplete pass, they're punting from their own 2. The best part about it, and I'm going to bring my guest on here in a second, just because he's at the stadium right now. The best part about that whole thing is Sean McDermott's presser, and if you haven't listened to it, go back. They were asking him about that play, and he laughed, and he's like, "Oh, the 98-yard touchdown play? Yeah, let's just run the 98-yard touchdown play. That's the one we got. Let's run that play." I think did I miss the super chat? I think I did. Sorry, JR. JR, you know I love you. JR's a longtime watcher and listener of the show. I apologize, dude. JR with the super chat says, this is exactly the culture McDermott wanted to build the moment he walked through the door. You are 1,000% accurate. 1,000%. JR, thank you for the super chat. You know I love you. Joey D says, I think we are ready for KC. Cheers, Joe. Joey D, I will be in Kansas City next week. I will be there. But getting back to the McDermott press conference, it was funny because they were just asking him about that. You know, what is the confidence you have? I don't remember what the question was, but it was something to the effect of, you know, what happened or how did it go, or what was the conversation on the sideline and the headset, you know, about that play when you called it. And he's like, oh, when we called the 98-yard touchdown play. This is amazing. There is no 98-yard touchdown play. They just call the play. Josh Allen did Josh Allen things. Hashtag Wildest Dreams Land. What I want to do is I want to bring in my guest. So longtime listener of this show, one of my very first listeners in this show, is a guy by the name of Dave who lives in the United Kingdom. He's been a Bills fan since the early 80s or mid 80s. And today was a special day. Today, Saxon Dave from the United Kingdom is in Buffalo. He's in Orchard Park still.
I'm still here.
He's still in Orchard Park. He's still at the stadium partying up and celebrating this victory. Dave, how you doing? How's that win treating you?
It's not too bad right now, to be honest with you. It's pretty. My voice is screwed because obviously I've cheered for the game, but the win's not too bad right now. Actually, it's quite nice.
And Dave is near the Mafia house. That's what the siren is, that annoying siren that gets rung off all the freaking time.
Yeah.
So
Mafia house is over there somewhere.
So Dave,
stadium there.
So Dave is a little bit. He told me that he's got some drinks in him. He's celebrating this W, and we went out for drinks on Friday night. And just so everybody knows, he said coming into it, he goes, if the Bills win on Sunday, I'm going to celebrate. So he is down there with the Mafia. In the camper lot with everybody else celebrating this win. Dave, I want you to do me a favor. This is the first time, if you can, this is the first time you've been to a Buffalo Bills game. Bills fan your whole entire life. You've been to the States before, but this is the first time you've been to a Bills game and they destroy the Steelers. Can you talk to me real quick just about the emotions that you felt early in this game, like being in that stadium with these fans, the Jets flying over? Can you just talk about that real quick?
I come the Jets flying over was unbelievable. I didn't even know it was going to happen. Like, I thought there was like only like primetime games or anything else. I didn't know they did it every game. Or is that me? Did they do it every game or what?
It depends on the weather, but yes, they do it. If the weather's good, they do it. Yes.
Okay, but no, like this is nuts, man. Absolutely bonkers. We like it, even in England, like we don't do this. This is like next level. I've been here since I came on Friday. Hang on, what day are we on now? Sunday. So I came on Saturday and we did a tailgate, and it was like, holy crap, this is nuts. And then I was with Ken Pinto-Rom, and oh my God, this is just, the whole thing's been completely nuts. It's like unbelievable. You guys, seriously, you guys are nuts.
Well,
like
I'm not talking about us. I want to know how you felt just being in that stadium with the Mafia because you're a member of the Mafia. You first time in Buffalo, but you're a member of the Mafia. So can you give me some of the emotion that you felt today?
Yeah, no, it was like a suit. I've been. I'm allowed to say off my tits. I've been like super like up and out of this world all day. It's like if it's put into a phrase, it would be wildest dreamland. It's just been unbelievable all day. Everybody's been super nice, like ridiculously nice. There's people here, like we've got like 3 different lots of tailgating, and it's like, yeah, come back. And no, it's like I can't even describe it. It's just been unbelievable. It's just like I can't even match it to anything you get in the UK.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, what was it like seeing Josh Allen in person for the first time?
Oh my God. I was like, obviously, so it goes to the game. Obviously, first time I've ever been to a game. First thing I see is a friggin' muffed fucking reception from the kickoff. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then obviously we have
family show, Dave.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I do apologize. And then obviously we have 2 downs, and it was like, oh my God, that's trash. And then then the next play is a 98-yard touchdown to Davis. I was like, oh my God. So it's
So that one was a surprise to me as well.
Just an understatement. That was a surprise. Yeah. Okay.
What was your surprise, or what was your emotion, or what were your thoughts on the second one where he threw the ball farther? He threw the ball 65 yards in the air.
That was like, I'm sure I saw something from Greg from Cover One. There was like a 65 yards air yards
right
for the touchdown, and it was just like, oh man, it was like. You see it on the TV and you're like, yeah, whatever. And you see it in real life and it's like, holy cow. It's just like, the only way you can describe it is wildest dreamland. It's just like unbelievable. This is just like, it's crazy.
Dave is such a good friend that he also came to Buffalo with a bottle of Jameson for me all the way from the UK. So he bought this in the United Kingdom. And he actually brought it for me, and it is indeed what I'm actually drinking right now. Dave, it's really good. So it's So cheers. So cheers. It is what we're drinking right now. But dude, it's been exciting. It's been a great time having you. I had a great time with you Friday. We had a good time. We went to Bar Bill, and then we went over to Neat and had some cocktails. And I know that you were again at the tailgate yesterday, and I couldn't make it because I had to go. We took my girls to the pumpkin patch on Saturday afternoon. But yeah, we were at the Mafia house, and you went and saw Pinto Ron get ketchup and mustard sprayed on him, and your buddy,
that was awesome.
Steelers fan, got ketchup all over him. You guys got so close.
Ken even said, he said, if you'd have been here earlier and had seen you, he said you could have gone up on the truck and ketchuped him. And I was like, oh my God, I missed it. So
the best part about that moment for me is your Steeler fan buddy. So what was your buddy's name again? I forget.
Gav.
What was it?
Gavin.
So Dave came to the game with his buddy Gavin, who lives he lives in State College, but he's a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. They came to the game together. So we're at the Mafia house, and I was saying, hey, you guys need to go over and catch the ketchup and mustard thing, like the Pinto Ron thing. And they were like, oh, you think so? And I'm like, yeah, you need to. You're here. It's one of the things you got to see before you die. So they go over there, and Dave knows what it's about. He's Bill's Mafia. Gavin, I'm sure maybe he's seen it on social media, but regardless.
No, he'd never seen it before. He didn't know what was going on.
So Gavin wants to get so close that he is working his way through the crowd, and he gets up as close as he possibly can and ends up getting sprayed with ketchup. Now that's not where I'm going with this. So he comes back. They come back to the Mafia house. He's got ketchup on his hood. And I'm like, what happened? And he was like, best experience of my life, man. Best experience of my life. I was like, what? It was the best experience of your life? Getting a Steeler fan getting ketchup sprayed on him at a Bills Mafia tailgate is the best experience of your life. Wow. So yeah, so what was Gavin's impression of the game? Not the game itself. I'm sure he wasn't upset his Steelers got trounced, but
he's still crying now. I've got like a little flask set from catching his tears right now, and so I can drink them in the future. So it's great.
What do you think? What do you think about the environment in the stands? Obviously, Bills Mafia was good to him, right? Nobody.
I know, he loved it. He loved it. He did. He's like, obviously, like I say, he's literally crying because he got destroyed. Yeah. But
it was amazing.
His dream was, I wanted to be close. My dream was, I want to blow out. And first ever Bills home game, I got my dream blowout. I don't care.
Got his dream.
I know he's my buddy, but like, screw that guy. Hey, blowout. Go Bills. Yeah.
Screw that guy. That is amazing. Well, Dave, you're in town until Tuesday. You're going to Niagara Falls tomorrow. You got to see one of the 7 wonders of the world while you're in town, obviously.
Yeah, that's the plan.
You've had Barbell. You've gone to Resurgence. You've had good food. What has the Buffalo experience been like?
Awesome. That's the only way to describe it. Awesome. The whole thing's been unbelievable. And then like the jewel in the crown was destroying the Steelers today. What can I say? It's just been great. The whole atmosphere, the game, everything. It's just been wildest dreamland. What can I say? It's just been unbelievable.
It's been unbelievable. That's awesome. Well, bro, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to let you go so you can get back to tailgating. I know we got to meet up one more time before you take off. But if I don't see you tomorrow, enjoy the falls, and I'll make sure that I catch you tomorrow or Tuesday, regardless. But yeah, dude, you're the man. It's been a lot of fun. And here, I know you said you want to buy season tickets if you can and come back to a couple games every year.
Yeah, so, I hope so. God, yeah. Christ, I hope so.
I hope that happens too. But and someday you'll have to tell me what I was off my tits means, because I don't know what that means. Like, I have no clue.
I'll explain it to you later. Don't worry.
I have no idea. I might have to Google British slang off my tits, because I don't know what that means.
Okay. Fair enough.
Another one I learned was rammed. The place was rammed, which to you means...
The place was rammed. Yeah, it was rammed. It was solid. Oh my God. I'll explain it to you. I'll take you through it step by step. But at the moment now, I'm just too excited to fucking... Oh my God.
We call it packed. We call it packed. In the UK, they call it...
Indeed, yeah. Packed, yeah.
In America, rammed has a different connotation, and it doesn't mean that. So, but it's
really? Oh, okay. Oops. Okay.
I love you, dude. I'll talk to you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
I'll touch you tomorrow. Okay.
Sounds good, bro. Talk to you soon. That's hysterical. So that was a very rare post-game show interview that I had to give you guys. So, and he might show up tomorrow on the Phoenix show. We'll see. But it was his first time, and it was just absolutely unbelievable. And so excited to just have him in Buffalo and get to spend some time with him. You know, he is a big part of the reason why I do this stuff. The opportunity to connect, the opportunity to interact, the opportunity to make friends, the opportunity, you know, to realize and be a part of this thing, this mafia, this family that's bigger than just me and my couch, right? And Dave is awesome. And I, you know, if you guys get the opportunity to meet up with other Bills Mafia when you're home for a game or in another city, for all intents and purposes, I can't tell you enough how much you should do it. Absolutely 1000% do it. Super chat from Payton Plays, my buddy Carmen. And he told me that he was going to do this. So this is just expected and awesome. Josh Allen on pace. ... and the super chat for 6,378 all-purpose yards. 7,087 if he hadn't sat half of a game. Wildest period. Dreams period. Land period. There were several times, Payton, where Josh Allen, there was one set in particular, I believe in the third quarter, where he lines up and there's no backs. He's got 4 wide, no backs, no running backs. I don't remember what the set was, the personnel grouping, and it exactly was. And my dad's like, is he going to run it? And I was like, he's absolutely going to run it. Third quarter, the Bills are up by like 4 possessions. Josh Allen gets the snap, takes off, and he gains like, I don't even remember what it was, 10 yards, 12 yards or something like that. Like, I don't need that in a game that we are handily destroying our opponent in. But here we are. 1000%. Here we are. Stats of note. We've talked about a couple of them. Stats of note. Gabe Davis, after 2 passes in this football game, had 2 receptions for 160 yards with 2 touchdowns. That is, if that's not an NFL record, it should be. 2 passes, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ridiculous. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. At halftime, Josh Allen was on pace to throw for 700 yards. It's like, obviously we knew that he wasn't going to, but it helps when on your first 3-play series, you've got 98 yards in the bank, 700 yards passing. Ridiculous. But at the same time, and I got to talk about a little bit of the bad, not the bad, but just not, some of the not great, if you will. It wasn't all roses and rainbows. The Buffalo Bills, or I should say the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the worst run defense in the entire league. 32nd, they're bad at it. They're bad at playing against the run. And the Bills just really couldn't get the run going even in this game. I don't know if it's a commitment issue. I don't know if it's a scheme issue. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's the line. I don't know if it's the running backs at this point. We've been talking about it for 3 years? Has it been since 19 or 20? We've been talking about it for a long time. It's got to get fixed. I don't know if they're abandoning it too soon. But at the end of the day, when you consider just even that concept that maybe they're abandoning the run too soon. But what are they supposed to do? When you run the ball a couple times inside of some mixed plays, trying to find some effectiveness and it's not working, what do you do when it's like, well, Josh Allen's really effective? Not only at when he runs the ball, but when he throws the ball, really, really effective. We'll just go with that. I mean, what are they supposed to do in that situation? And that's what gets hard about all of this is it's like, we can't run the ball. No big deal. We got that guy. We got 17. And I think the hard part about that is two things. Number one, the wear and tear on 17's body. And the one-off situation that happens every now and again where 17 isn't effective. Because when those moments happen, they're going to come. There's going to be times when Josh Allen's not effective passing the ball. We've seen it a little bit here and there at times. That's when a run game is really, really great. Because the run game can take the pressure off of him and then allow him to become effective. That's what a good run game does. Josh Allen is the antithesis. He's the opposite of what is supposed to happen in NFL offensive strategy. You run the ball to pass. Being good at running the ball sets up the pass. Being good at running the ball draws the linebackers in when you do play action. Being good at the run pulls the safeties down and the linebackers down. The Bills don't have a run game. They suck at it. Josh Allen's still effective. He's just different. He's just different, fam. I don't know what to tell you. And the only other bad takeaway that I have in this game outside of probably the opening kickoff was Josh Allen was off early on some of his corner end zone throws, trying to hit those corners, and the wind was bad. The wind was bad in the stadium, just so everybody knows. It was bad. Which also flies in the face of the narrative that, like, Josh Allen can't throw in the wind. Oh, if it's windy, they're not going to throw the ball. Well, they threw the ball today. A lot. A lot. Deep balls. And then when he adjusted to some of those throws being off, that's when he threw the pick. That's when he had another almost pick. He started shortening the throws a little bit and it just didn't work. But other than that, there's really nothing to say negative about this football game at all. It was a very complete football game outside of the run, which Josh clearly helped with. I do want to take just a moment. Just a moment to talk about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett in this football game was 34 of 52. Can you imagine being a rookie quarterback? Josh Allen said in his first start as a rookie against the Chargers, he didn't know what he was doing. He was calling protections that didn't exist. He was calling protections that didn't work with the personnel groupings, and the offensive linemen are turning around going, you can't do that. And he's yelling out, just block to the left, block to the left. Can you imagine being a rookie quarterback in the NFL 5 games in against the Buffalo Bills defense, who has been the number one defense in the NFL for the last 3 years, and is hands down between Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott probably the best pass scheming defense for years. I don't know anybody that's ever been better. Maybe that old crusty dude from the Steelers that was a Bills coach, defensive coordinator for a while. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows who I'm talking about. Kenny Pickett was 34 of 52. He threw 52 passes in this football game. 52. He threw for 327 yards, and they weren't goofy, awkward, weird, kind of like he's just out there looking like a rookie and got lucky with a couple things. Like he was good. The word that was used on the Locked On Bills podcast with Joe Marino with the Locked On guy from the Steelers was he just reads it and rips. Read and rip. That's what he does. And you saw that in this football game. He basically read the defense as far as as much as he could see and made his decision, and I'm just going to throw it to that guy. And it worked well for him. 327 yards. Josh Allen didn't have a 300-yard game for how long? The Bills didn't have a 300-yard passer for how many years? Dick LeBeau. By the way, thank you, Buffalo Archives now. Dick LeBeau. The Bills didn't have a 300-yard passer for years. Kenny Pickett comes out and does it his first game against the Buffalo Bills. Now, I'm not ready to crown him and say that he's going to be a Super Bowl champion. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying recognize good when you see it. Kenny Pickett is probably going to be a very serviceable, good to great quarterback in the NFL. He's got what it takes. His passes were crisp. They were on a line. They were accurate. He was decisive. He looked good on a windy day in Buffalo. It wasn't easy for Josh to throw today necessarily, and Kenny Pickett looked good. Didn't throw a touchdown. I don't know that means that he's going to be a bust. It doesn't. Threw an interception to Elam, which was great as a Bills fan. I liked a lot what I saw from Kenny Pickett. I liked it a lot. I'm not saying that I'm a Kenny Pickett fan, but I think he's a kid that I could root for, if that makes any sense. Just appreciate the football that you saw today, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Real quick, let's talk about the Western New York Beer Trail. Hey, Bills Mafia, we know that Buffalo is a drinking town, even if you're from Europe, apparently. By the way, I apologize to everybody for the curse words that Dave was using. Here's the thing. So if you've watched Gordon Ramsay for 5 seconds, he uses the F word all the time. There's a cultural thing between countries and all that kind of stuff. So over there, the word bloody is the F word to them. Right? And to us, bloody means nothing. To them, bloody's the F word. The F word means nothing, and the F word to us is the F word. Like, you don't say the F word because the F word is bad. So I apologize that he swore a couple times. So if there's any moms, I know that moms listen to this show while they're driving their kids to school, and sometimes it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I apologize that happened. But just keep in mind that culturally speaking, that curse words, swear words, vulgarity is cultural. It's another one of those cultural things that just because it's a bad word here, like, no, I'm not going to say it. I was off my tits. What does that even mean? I was off my tits. I was so excited. I was off, whatever. I'm not going to keep saying it. It just is what it is. But yeah. Anyways, I got to start over. We all know that Buffalo is a drinking town with a football problem. And just like an Allen to Diggs touchdown pass or an Allen to Gabriel Davis touchdown pass versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have the perfect pass for you. The trail pass, that is. The Western New York Beer Trail and 2022 Trail Pass is your passport to great local craft beer and other craft beverages in Western New York. When you purchase and use a Trail Pass, you can get 2 half-price beers at 42 different area breweries, bottle shops, and pubs, including a meadery, a cider works, and a distillery. If you've never been to a meadery, they're pretty cool. I've been to one in Tennessee, in Clarksville, Tennessee. And you score over $350 of savings inside the pass, just like a Bills-Patriots playoff game or a Bills-Steelers regular season game. You score every time you use it. The 2022 Trail Pass is good now through the end of the year, and it's available along with other Beer Trail items at the website www.wnYbeertrail.com. Click on the shop tab. Enter this code right here as I'm pointing, the voice 20, and get 20% off the pass. You can also buy it at the Totally Buffalo store in Amherst and Orchard Park, Buffalo Gift Emporium in Tonawanda, and the One-Eyed Cat Brewing in Williamsville. We at the Western New York Beer Trail are proud to support everything local, craft beer, small business, and local charities. Western New York Beer Trail. Drink local, support local. We'll see you on the trail. So let's get into what would be the story of this here football game. And what I want to title it, I think, is probably Facts and Firsts. I'm going to talk about this briefly, and this is kind of fun and kind of neat. Oh, I forgot to talk. Well, I'll talk about it in a minute. Sideways in my notes, sorry. The reason I'm sideways in my notes is because I brought Dave in way sooner, because he was like hanging around, walking around the parking lot by himself, and I didn't want to ruin that moment for him. He was supposed to come on later in the show, but I was like, I'm going to bring him on now. Anyways, so facts and firsts as it pertains to this game, the story of this football game. 424 yards by Josh Allen, a career regular season high for Josh Allen, and a Bills record for the most yards in a regular season game. So no quarterback in a Buffalo Bills uniform has ever thrown for 424 yards in a regular season game. Josh Allen, until today, Josh Allen now owns that record. One more record. It's pretty much what's not commonplace. It's pretty much expected at this point that Josh Allen is going to own every single Buffalo Bills quarterback record by the time he retires. All of them, except for maybe bad ones. Numbers of interceptions, numbers of fumbles, numbers of whatever crappy stuff. This was also a very fun stat. Sean McDermott has a winning percentage now of 0.616. So he's got a 616 winning percentage as the Buffalo Bills head coach. He has now supplanted Marv Levy as the winningest coach in Bills history. Marv Levy was 615. McDermott is 616. Now, obviously, that can change as the season goes on. But it kind of tells you the direction or where this is going. Sean McDermott is a good head coach. Sean McDermott is a very, very good head coach. These are fun stats for me coming up here. Isaiah Hodgins had his first NFL catch as a professional football player today. Wide open running down the sideline. He had a couple other catches that were important where he got open. It was great to see him. Everybody on this show, if you listen to this show, if you've listened to it for 5 minutes, you know that I've got a relationship with Isaiah and Maya, his wife. I love them. They're great people. They're good people. And he's been very patient. He's been very mature. He has had every reason to be angry over a couple of years, but he's remained humble. And it looks like that humility is about to pay off. Just so everybody understands what happened this weekend with Hodgins versus Tanner Gentry. So they were both on the practice squad. Isaiah Hodgins was signed to the 53-man roster. Tanner Gentry was called up from the practice squad. So being called up from the practice squad is basically it's that COVID rule that they came up with a couple of years ago where you can call guys up from the practice squad just in case like there's a COVID designation. And then they go right back to the practice squad. So they're not signed necessarily contract wise to the 53. They come off they don't come off. They come up from the practice squad, go back down to the practice squad. That's what happened to Tanner Gentry. Isaiah Hodgins was signed. He signed an NFL contract with the Bills. Not his first one. Obviously, he signed one as a rookie as well. Signed a contract with the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, my ear is messing up. Signed a contract with the Buffalo Bills. And the expectation at this point is he's going to be with the 53 for a number of weeks. We don't know how long. It could be for the rest of the season. It could be for the rest of his career. It could be for the rest of his contract. He could also play for 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then the Bills sign OBJ and he goes back to the practice squad if he makes it through waivers. And keep in mind and have this on the front of your thoughts that if he has success at the pro level in regular season games on Sundays and the Bills waive him, he's probably not going to stay on this roster, even though he has so far. There's a measure of Russian roulette, flirting with disaster. Pick a fun little phrase here. Isaiah Hodgins had his first catch as an NFL professional. Fun day for Isaiah. Proud of you, bro. James Cook had his first touchdown as a rookie, as an NFL player. It was a great run. I'm the guy that's been talking about the fact that I feel like the game is a little bit too big for James Cook. However, he had his first touchdown. It was awesome. Khalil Shakir had his first touchdown. That kid just looks ready to play. I'm ready to see Khalil Shakir be my slot receiver going forward. Like that dude, I'm in. I'm all in with Khalil. And Kair Elam had his first interception of his career in this football game. And as I said before, after last season and giving Belichick his worst loss in his career, this team did. This team is now given another future Hall of Fame head coach, one of the best head coaches in NFL history, Mike Tomlin, the worst loss of his entire career. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read your tweets, Bills Mafia, and then I'm going to get you guys out of here. The show is long in the tooth, as I like to say. You hear me say it all the time because I can never get anything done inside of an hour. Podcasts, by the way, are only supposed to be like 25 minutes long. Joe Marino crushes it. Joe Marino does the 25 to 35-minute thing well. Joe Miller, not so much. I sent a tweet out. Okay, Bills Mafia, how does that win have you feeling? Working on my show notes right now, and we'll be reading your tweets in the Overreaction postgame show live at 8 p.m. Hashtag Go Bills, hashtag Big Dubs. These are the tweets that I received. Johnny O at JD777-42869. I understand how we should be happy. Maybe we should just expect perfection. It's not that. Regardless of if they win by 3 or 30, there are times during the game they just really struggle. They should be smoking teams by way more, but mistakes hold them back. Nitpicking, I know. Bro, they won by 35. They won by 5 touchdowns. By the way, I don't pre-read these. I don't pre-read any of these tweets. So when I read them to you, it's the first time I'm reading them. They won by 5 touchdowns. 5. They won by 5 touchdowns. They should be smoking teams by way more. They won by 5. I might stop reading the tweets. They won by 5 touchdowns. I don't even know where to go from here. Is this for real? They won by 5 touchdowns. Oh my gosh. Anthony, I got to move on. Anthony at Arctic Sabercat 1. Good, but I do have my concerns. Where is this going? Last week I got accused of being negative, and a dude was like, I stopped listening to your show 10 minutes afterwards. And it's like, I told you there was 2 separate notes. There were 2 games. I had negative notes. I had positive notes. If you don't like the negative, stick around for the positive, and you didn't do it. And here we are. Immediately, the tweets are bad. Like, what is going on? Good, but I do have my concerns. Injuries. Well, sure. Us turning over the ball twice a game. Was it twice? It was once. Josh Allen threw an interception. Now I got to look at the stats, which I didn't even talk about today. I think there was only one turnover today. Hang on a second. This show's getting longer by the moment. Oh, apparently there's a fumble lost. That might have been I may have dipped out at the 9-minute mark, just so everybody knows. I dipped out at the 9-minute mark. So apparently there was a fumble I didn't catch. Injuries, us turning the ball over twice a game. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but turning the ball over almost twice a game shouldn't be happening. Appreciate you being a part of the show, Anthony. I just don't know what we're doing here if we're talking about negatives. Jessica Tennis with the super chat. Anthony, we hope, is just 10 and a half years old. Yikes. I agree. Richard Rush, my guy, Richard R. Rush, too. What a first game for Saxa Dave, who you just all got to meet. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should be at Saxa Dave. Hashtag Wildest Dreams Land. Need I say more? And Dave actually responded to that tweet with, I'm disappointed they scored 3 points. Fantastic. Saxa Dave actually with the next with the reaction tweet. Feeling like I need to go to every home game! ! That was awesome. Although Homer Dave aside, I'm disappointed we didn't get to pick it more. Go Bills. Praise hands. Anthony he came back at. Oh, that's something different. I'm not reading that. Ronnie at Ronnie Eastham. Surprise Pickett put up as many passes as he did with only one pick, and the Bills only scored 3 sacks despite all those dropbacks, not to mention putting up over 300 yards on our pass defense. I really hope Poyer can return next week, or we'll have a shootout again. I would full well expect somebody to score 38 or better points in the game next week against Kansas City. And that's all I'm going to say. Somebody's going to score a crap ton of points. That is going to be a shootout. Don't expect the 2020 COVID year Bills game in the rain, where it was like a low-scoring game. That's that Bills-Chiefs game. That's not going to happen. James Alexander Perks at Mr. J Perks, 6789. Nice to see the fringe guys get to show their stuff tonight. Morris looked very comfortable filling in for Knox. Oh, Quentin Morris, yes. And Khalil Shakir absolutely broke out subbing for McKenzie. The real test is next week, though. Cautiously optimistic. Go Bills, James. I'm cautiously optimistic as well. The Bills right now have opened a 1-point favorite in Kansas City next week, which I will be at that game with my whole family. Tifolo at Ruby T with 4 E's. I love a healthy Gabe Davis. Rookies looked great, albeit some struggles with Elam early. Shakir's yak is exactly what this team needs. And lastly, Ken Dorsey and Leslie Frazier play calling is elite. Tifolo, you are 1,000% correct. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you. Josh, the Bills Reverend at Rev Bills Mafia. This is my guy, Josh Whippy, who used to be in a punk band back when I was, when my music career started out. Me and Josh go way back. My heart soars with Eagle's Nest, with the Eagle's Nest. That's all he said. Unbelievable. Sharon Briandy at Sharon_Briandy, all the way from Florida. Gabe Davis plays so much better healthy. The D is scary, and we are missing many starters. Finally, Josh Allen had 424 yards and didn't play in the fourth quarter. Go Bills. I didn't even add that part. Unbelievable. Xavier Stutz at XCS713. We are unbeatable at home until a team shows somewhat of a fight against us. Nothing will change in my mind. The Bills have outscored opponents 79-10 at home. Hashtag Wildest Dreamsland. And I will add, Peyton Plays tweeted out as well to myself and to Bruce Nolan that the Bills are 0-1 in games where the opponent scores a touchdown in the second half, because the Bills have shut their opponents out in the second half this whole entire season so far. That's a crazy stat. And the last tweet that I have for you this evening, because I didn't get one from Pam, I didn't get one from a bunch of people. Pam, I know you're in the comment section, so that was directed directly at you. Scott F. Bills Mafia at S Fury 1511 at Josh Allen QB is playing Xbox, missing all those starters, several self-induced mistakes. Should have been 63-3. Laugh out loud. Go Bills. Bills Mafia. I don't know how to take that. Was that good or was that bad? I have a notification. So is there one more now? Let me see here. 2 seconds. I apologize. No, there's not. So that's it. That's what I got for you. That's the show. No negativity. All positive vibes. The Buffalo Bills are, 4-1 going into Kansas City next week. Man, what a game. Saxa Dave, all the way from the UK. He said to me on several occasions that Buffalo is lovely. Buffalo is lovely. It's lovely. I don't know why people give it a bad rap. It's lovely. He has loved his experience in Buffalo. He's loved the food. He's loved the environment. He walked around downtown. Yeah. We got a lot going for us here in Buffalo, New York. And city of good neighbors, family, relationships. The weather's not always great, but we got a great football team, and we've got great relationships, and we've got great culture, great food. And at the end of the day, we just get the opportunity to spend moments like this, Victory Monday, Victory Tuesday, Victory Wednesday together. Even if you are a displaced member of the Bills Mafia, we're all celebrating together. So break out your Victory Monday t-shirts and enjoy this win, Bills Mafia. Enjoy this win. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned into the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show, brought to you by the Market Dominator team on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. If you follow me, I would love to interact with you. Please tweet at me, ask me questions, all that good stuff. What a game. What a day. What a week. What a season. What a team. Enjoy, Bills Mafia. Have a great week. Love you guys. Go Bills.